Welcome to another episode of Harbor City Local TV. We're getting ready for our charity event November 5th in the Allgalley Arts District. We'll have bands, food trucks, BMX. It's going to be a great day, and we have some participants here with us today. Our title sponsor, Morgan Financial, David Morgan's here. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And we got John Bridges, and he's playing in 3 of the bands that day.
That's right.
Yeah, Tank Top, which you just heard, Zeddemore, and Bradley Rodriguez band. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Welcome to the episode. We're getting back to it. We were out for a little bit. Our man Jesse had a little hard time, and now he's feeling better. So,
yeah, hard times.
Yeah, hard times.
Meaning face meets asphalt. Hard times.
Right. Watch out for mountain bikers out there.
Road cyclists, pedestrians. it's a epidemic here. I mean, we just need more alert drivers. So stay away, guys.
But we're glad you're back, Jesse. Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah. So David, Morgan Financial, moving to EGAD.
Yes, we did.
Love that.
Yeah.
By the way.
And you may have seen that large building. Now it says Morgan Financial right on the corner of US 1 and Allgalley.
St. Clair.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Which is going to be the new entry for an EGAD from what I understand. So it's a perfect position. Beautiful building. How are you guys enjoying moving to EGAD?
Yeah, that'd be good. I didn't actually know that. Is that billeted to be the new?
I saw some drawings.
If it's up to Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now that eyesore, that blight, right there, the abandoned gas station, that's really going to be the tell-all, and he has yet to share with me what it's going to be, but it should be exciting knowing
That'd
what Larry
really
does.
Cool if they're going to make that the actual entrance.
I saw some drawings about a year and a half ago about because they want to take the traffic off of Allgalley there. It doesn't make sense there anyways. It makes sense to have the entry on St. Clair and down towards the Civic Center. There was going to be kind of more of like a roundabout, and it was going to be all landscaped, and it was going to be.
And that's a new hotel, going on the footprint of Fusener.
Yeah,
yeah,
So
I know he's got that.
It's gonna be,
I think he's got that.
Yeah,
that's underway.
That's going to be exciting.
Soon. Yeah, right.
Yeah, parking garage.
We need to get parking.
Well,
it's all included.
That's why Steven has me, because he wants my parking lot.
Right.
I mean, it is a sexy parking lot, though, right?
It has nothing to do with me liking music or anything like that.
That's where this all started. Yeah, that's how we met.
That's how I met.
Needed a parking lot. Yeah.
Those covered bays. That's what I want. I want that exclusive garage.
Yeah. Why don't you find me some funding for that? Can we do a podcast on that?
100%.
Yeah.
We sure can. Yeah, definitely. Excellent. So tell us about Morgan Financial. What do you all do?
Well, Morgan Financial, we are a mortgage company, and we specialize in conventional and VA loans. Started the business 20 years ago. Actually, this is our 20th year anniversary this year.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks, man. 20 years, and it crept up on us. And my long-term, Tia Plowman, assistant, now operations manager for the company, she said, "You do know August is your 20th year." I'm like, man, that came up fast, didn't it? I mean, really fast. So, yeah, we did 20 years this year, and, the building was a big part of our life. We moved in there in April of this year, and, with the pandemic and all that, we've just been running really hard since then. It was interesting building that building during the pandemic.
I bet.
Yeah.
I always wondered where the caboose, the train car, came from. Where did that come from?
So I originally I rented a spot. Like a desk in that building when I first started. Well, I first started with a folding table and a futon,
nice.
Right, in my house. And then the second client I ever had said, "That's a little creepy coming to your house." I'm like, fair enough. So a buddy of mine, he told me about this. Actually, it was Rich Workman. Actually, I was working with him. He rented me a desk for like $25 a month or something like that. And then I had an office, and then I got this and that, and then I rented half the building. And then the guy that owned the building, I wanted to do some upgrades to that caboose building. And he wasn't really interested, and that's fine. It was time of the year. And so I made him an offer. I bought the building.
Nice.
And upgrade. So, yeah, the caboose was there. The story is that I think either caboose was there or he brought it in and then built a building around the caboose.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a cool little building. And everyone said, "You're going to sell it. You're going to sell it." And I'm like, I don't know how can I sell the caboose building, man? I mean, I feel like I raised my children in there.
No
I'm not talking about just the employees. I'm like my real children.
Right.
That's like a legacy.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very unique property.
So I don't.
It's a cool building.
I see that being in my life for a long time, man.
And that's north on US 1 there.
Yeah, just north of.
Very cool. Yeah, I driven by it 1,000 times, just thinking, what is that?
Wouldn't it be fun if I could take the caboose and bring it to put it on the roof or something like that? You know, I don't think the district would like that.
If anybody knows how to do it, it's an Air Force veteran. Right?
Yeah, I can figure out the logistics on that.
Yeah, a little Chinook, just
maybe two.
Right.
So mortgage financing, you guys have a specialty?
Yeah, we specialize in actually VA. That is what I cut my teeth on. I love VA loans and conventional loans. So, but our specialty, our unique, I guess, selling proposition is that we close loans in average under 10 days. So I would even say under 8 days, because we can take a loan from start to closing in under 8 days. But the law requires that we actually take a full 8 days. And we did that, and our claim to fame, and I'm giving a lot of love to my team down there, that we did that with while our competitors had superior technology. And they, even back when we did this, they were closing on average 30 to 45 days with superior technology. And we did it just brute force, with just under 50 people. And we got this thing down to we have a consistent output where we can start a loan and we can finish it and close it up in less than 8 days. And most of the time we're sitting around waiting for the real estate agent, the client. Not that they're slow, it's just they just don't need to close that fast.
Right.
But for us, we get quality fast. That's our thing. And we do that by specializing in a narrow focus. Instead of trying to do everything, we do 2 products right now, a couple other products very, very well. And
I was about to ask what the average was. So you say 30 to 45 days?
I don't know what it is right now. I mean, the market's really slow with the interest rates that have gone up, and people are just now adjusting to that.
Right.
Because the yardstick they're using is unfortunately, it's just going to take time. So when I bought my first home in 2001, my rate was 7.375. Rates are just below that right now, or in and around that thing. So it's the shock. Once that shock goes away, it'll come back.
And it's really just because they got so low, right? Like I was talking to my dad the other day about interest rates, and he said 7's great, because he remembers back in the 80s when he was paying 12, 14%, and that was just how it was. So 7.
Right. So Joe Harris is the CEO at Morgan Financial, and he says 7. What's wrong with that? If you rent, that's 100%. You're giving 100% of your possible gains to a landlord.
Right.
I mean, why not buy a house? It's just shock, man. And I understand it, and we're just waiting. So I would say right now the average closing, there's no reason to hurry up.
Yeah.
So it's like we're still getting them ready to close under 10 days. So my operations team stays practiced, but closing isn't the issue right now. It's just getting consumer confidence back and saying, hey, listen, it's not as bad as you think it is. The yardstick you're using just needs to be adjusted.
Right.
What you're measuring against. And don't rent. That's don't do that.
As I'm about to go into a rental.
Well, that's because you're selling your house.
True.
That's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
That's a strategic move.
That's
a smart move.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you. I feel better now. Awesome. So what is the Morgan Financial mission? Like, what do you bring to the public?
Well, our mission for the company is my personal mission, is that I want to create an environment for others to prosper. So it took me a while to come up with that, but when you tear that apart and you think creating an environment for others to prosper, that includes everybody. That includes the consumer, that includes the real estate agent, that includes the title company, that includes the appraisers, that includes everybody in the transaction. And if you can keep that mission and have your employees and everybody in your team working on that, they're always concentrated on, am I creating an environment for others to prosper? Toxic companies, when I read in I think it was Harvard Review once, that 85% of the people wish they got hit by a bus before they got to work. I mean, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. When 85% of the people, I mean, they just dread coming to work. I'm like, dude, that's awful, man.
Yeah.
If I had to do that, I would just die. So, that's part of where that, creating an environment for others to prosper is that, if people enjoy where they go, and it feels family and it feels, homey and folksy, then everybody prospers. And so we keep that in mind for outside the company too. Are we doing right by the community, even outside of it?
And I think the culture, because I've been a fan of Morgan Financial.
Yeah.
I've helped some buyers with your products that you got them into, and it's always just a fun atmosphere. The culture is really cool.
Yeah.
You have the learning. And that engagement with your fellow associates and agents in the area, always keeping the products fresh and keeping them trained and tuned in.
Yeah, so. Like Joe's keeping keeping your business on track. That's in the theory of the mission of creating an environment for others to prosper. Because think about it, if he's helping real estate agents or whomever he's helping with the business, even you, Jesse, helping your business keep on track, that just makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
And one of our core values is have fun, right? And so if someone doesn't know what they're doing, on the other side of the transaction, it's not too fun, man, because now you're having to carry the weight for everyone. So yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, because
it's a great culture.
Joe and the companies work really hard to push that, keeping your business out on track.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And I imagine those types of, anytime someone's spending a bunch of money, it's immediate, conflict. Really, it's immediate, defensiveness. So how do you create that atmosphere for someone on the other side?
Education.
Yeah.
Because there's a I guess it's a disparaging or derogatory idiom where buyers are liars and sellers are cheats, and so, but that's just because they don't understand one another. And so when you something that's very unique from Morgan Financial, and this will go as long as I'm in command there, is that we don't tell a person, Jesse, you're going to get this loan. We give you options, we educate you on each one of those options, and then we let you pick, because now you're in control.
Right.
You're not just being pushed on this transaction. And then when you come to us and say, hey, listen, I'd like to do a pay option loan with negative AM interest and all this kind of other stuff, and I'd like to do it stated income, no doc. I'm like, no, you actually don't, but here, instead of me just telling you that, let me show you what happens if. So when you hear this information out there on the news and you're like, man, that sounds wonderful, right? Listen, there is no gimmicks in finance. Trust me, it's all mathematics. It's finite. And so that's what I pride myself on. I've done that from day one. It's how I cut my teeth. It's why I got into the business, is that I educated young troops when I was still in the service. I said, listen, this is what's going on here, okay? And so it's, salespeople, can lead you in a direction that you might not need to go. But if you give all the information, otherwise intelligent person will make the right decision for themselves.
Educated
and then they
consumers.
feel way better about the transaction when they made a decision versus, man, I don't really know what I just bought. That's scary, especially, man, when you're talking about the biggest investment of your life.
Right.
Of your life is that house. I mean, some people eat that at retirement to survive. And so you set a guy up with a bad thing that blows up on you. You're doing a disservice to yourself and the community, and as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
And I'm a math educator, so when I'm watching commercials or sales and all these things, to me it's all just manipulated statistics. And
some of it,
not
all of it,
right?
Not everybody's bad, but there are some little tricks there that they do.
And I think that's where connotation comes from, right? Because the common consumer has no clue.
They do not.
It has to come to a level of trust, and to me, education solves everything.
Everything.
So it's interesting to hear you say that, to convey, trust from not only the person you're working for, but, the other side too. It's pretty interesting. Now, has that always been a Morgan family, backbone, or is that something that comes from the military, a little bit of both? This is obviously a personal philosophy of yours that you're bringing to this business,
It's a personal philosophy, but it's also a very logical policy. I'm a logical guy. I mean, to a fault sometimes. But no, I got into this business, or this business found me, because I was the executive officer to a colonel, and I was supposed to handle his low-level stuff.
Okay.
Troop comes to me one day, says, "Hey, Cap, can you help me with this good faith estimate?" That's what they were called back in the day. Jesse, you remember that? Right? Good faith estimate. And I'm like, "Well, what's this fee? What's this fee? What's this fee?" He goes, "I don't know, Cap. That's what I'm here for." I'm like, "Well, is this the loan officer? Is this the guy? Right? Is this the guy that gave you this thing?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do you mind if I call him?" He goes, "Oh, I don't mind if you call him." Okay, well, I didn't plan on being in a negotiation that day, but I get the loan officer on the phone. I'm like, "What's this fee? What's this fee?" And I didn't know anything about mortgages, right? I'm just quizzing the guy. I found out, man, I'm in a negotiation with this cat, right? And so all of a sudden, right, he drops these wacky fees he couldn't explain. The interest rate, the interest rate goes down, right? This kid, I wish I remembered his name. He's a sergeant. But he's looking at me while I'm doing this, and at the end I say, "Okay, listen, Sarge, this is what's going on. you're not going to have to pay this couple $1,000s of fee because I don't even know what it is, and he doesn't either. And then the interest rate drops your payment about $100-$150 a month, and that's the end of the story. You got any questions? He goes, his jaw dropped. Price was faceless. I mean, priceless his face.
Right.
And then he goes, really? I said, yeah. I was like, are we good here? Get back to work, man, right? So, because you remember I'm a little hardcore in the military at the time, right? Well, he must have told everybody in the squadron in the base because my line out the door grew like
Oh, that's hilarious.
all the way out there, right? To where I'm at. I came home and I told my wife one day, I said, baby, I think the mortgage industry is gone, man.
No kidding.
So I just left the battlefield, went over to this battlefield and started slaying it for troops. So yeah, you talk about philosophy. It's easy. It's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of fun to take a guy that's completely confused and scared to death, and inside of an hour and a half, they're like, man, I'm ready to buy this house.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
It's trust.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, cool. So what is your favorite part of being a small local business in Brevard County?
Leadership management. I love training people. I love, owning. I mean, just every day. It's like being quarterback of a football team, man. Every time you go out on the field, you get 4 downs. The opportunities are endless. I mean, every play is different. And it's strategy, problem solving.
Audibles.
Yeah, I love the audibles, man.
Yeah.
So, and I'm serious. I get to meet good folks like you and Jesse, and I love what I do. I do not consider it work, and I know that's probably cliche, but I don't. This is just what I do, man. I get up and I do my thing. It doesn't feel like work. It takes effort, but it doesn't hurt.
Right.
I'm not one of the 85%. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, no
Right,
kidding.
right.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to work sometimes.
That's the best.
Well, and I think, a lot of, workers. I used to be admissions counselor over at Kaji University, and I talked to people about going to, their next job or what they're going to train in and all that all the time. And, people just have no clue what their next job is. They'd come in for nursing, we talk a bit and realize that they're better for x-ray tech. So when but it's still healthcare. So when you talk about these, this calling that you fall into, I think a lot of people are scared of taking that leap into their calling. They need their money, they need to take care of their family. And so taking that step towards a calling takes a lot of guts.
Or a lot of ignorance.
Well,
Or
yeah.
daredevil. Or
Yeah.
you just got a screw loose in your head a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
Hey, let's just go open this company.
But
You
if
got
you-
2 kids and a wife. That don't matter. Let's just open up a business.
But if you can put yourself in that 15%,
Too fun.
Yeah. Excellent. So what brings you to the EGAD Arts District?
So this is a fun story. So Rob Beckner with Lettle Beckner Robertson, I met him through a guy named Jamie Ostrander, who works for First Wave. I'm not trying to pitch these companies. I'm just trying to. We're a small community, so everybody knows these things. So I met Rob a long time ago. I'm just telling you how I met Rob. So I called Rob and I said I needed space because I was up in Rockledge in that building. I'd run out of space. I just moved people down to the caboose, and that place was like putting people in a closet. It was awful. I felt so bad about putting my team in there. So I said, I need more space, right? So I called Rob up, and I said, hey, listen, there's a beachfront property, man. I was like, if I could swing this thing, because at the time, it was priced very well on the ocean, right? So Rob, there's a huge shout out to Rob on this one. He told me straight up, he goes, you don't want that property. It's not going to fit your needs. It's going to fit someone else's needs. It's not going to fit your needs. And so I just listened to him. And I said, all right, well, find me something. This is what I need. He calls me back like a week later in the Oasis Church, right? That's there. It had 3 contracts that fell out because of COVID, right?
Oh.
So we knew what it was worth. He knew what it was worth. The seller didn't care. He knew it was worth. And so the seller made me a tremendous deal. I got the appraisal, I got the inspection, I got everything, and I bought it at what the appraisal was at, right? And then Rob turns me over to Stark with Stark Architect, and he and I start to brainstorm. And I said, he goes, what kind of building you want? I said, you ever seen that show Billions with all the glass? I was like, I want one of those shows. I want a building like that. He goes, let's see what we can do, right? And then my good friend, my old and long-term friend, CEO, owner of Rush Construction, he's in my CEO group. He and I got together, and I'm going to tell you what, if it wasn't for Rush Construction, I'll tell you right now, that building wouldn't have got done in a year. And this is a plug to him, because we had to do so many what's called value engineering or re-engineering, where we didn't have floor stringers, we didn't have nothing, because there's no product because of COVID. And so we would figure out better ways to do it, and talk about fun, man. I mean, so that building had a plan.
Right.
And that plan was not the plan. But we got that in COVID. We got that building finished. You saw what it was like before, just a block box, right?
Yeah.
To what it is today. And we did that I was under a year. It was like just right at a year.
You guys were cooking on that one.
Well, that was Rush, man.
It's a cool.
That was
building.
Rush. That was Greg's to Stark. And I probably caused more problems than I helped because I was changing things on the fly, and that causes problems. But big shout out to those guys, and that's how I got there, man. And then as I was doing it, I thought, man, this is a fun little town. This is a fun little part of Brevard. I'm like,
you got a brewery across the street.
Yeah, I was like, I got a brewery. And then Joe Harris and I were like, man, when's the last time you got to go just walk from your office to go get something to eat? We'd have to drive back and forth, wherever. So hey, I'm really happy to be in EGAD, and I think I might have set the bar too for Larry. So like, all right, come on, let's.
Yeah, it's a great neighborhood. That's actually where I'm moving to. But the great thing about down there, and I guess communities like to help each other out, but they love promoting EGAD and they love promoting each other's businesses. So coming into that is going to be pretty fun to watch. I think for me, I like watching it. I like watching business work together. Yeah. And it's interesting. Excellent. I love EGAD. To be honest, that's why the festival's there. Other than just me, being into the arts and music and all that. Kyle, the owner of one of the Intercoast owners, was the drummer of my second band for a while. I'm good friends with all the guys over at Traditionals and Salty Fox, and I mean, this is basically my crew.
Standard Collective.
Yep. So when we talked about doing a festival, it was, let's do a festival where we all hang out, Yeah. And it just worked out.
Yeah, because logistically having stages all around an art district probably isn't the easiest thing to manage.
No, it'd be easier over at Wickham Park.
Right.
But we don't promote any sort of business at Wickham Park. It's just us. And it's a destination, and we could probably make more money through ticket sales and stuff like that, but it doesn't have the community vibe that we have right now. And as a nonprofit, that's more valuable to us. We want money, we need it, but we also want to make sure that we're promoting the arts, education, and community of value. Awesome. So speaking of the festival, what are you most excited about?
Oh, we watched you play, brother. That's
nice.
what it is, right?
Yeah.
I know.
60 Foot Drive.
Yeah, right? No, I love music, as you and I talked.
Yeah.
You came to me originally to use the parking lot, or to say, hey, is it okay we use the parking lot?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, but what do you got going on? that turns into me being the title sponsor.
Right.
But I'm an enormous music fan. So is my son. He is a singer, was a singer, and
okay.
And so I'm looking forward to going down there with the family and seeing you guys, and next year, of course. I can't wait to blow it up even bigger. I didn't know you had it too. Well, I wasn't in EGAD.
Right, yeah.
And to speak on that Wickham Park versus thing, I don't think if you put it, the venue in EGAD is perfect. Man.
Yeah.
That's way better. It's just way more quaint.
Right.
Than if you had I think it'd be a little cold.
I agree.
That's at Wickham Park.
But I like the fact that each stage is named after.
I know, right?
The parking lot, the venue, So Island Rukava stage and your Pineapple stage and Intracoastal, and so the stages are branded after who's hosting it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Talk about working in a small community.
Yeah,
that's
fun.
That's fun stuff.
And I enjoy, like, the event ends at 9, so then the people that are there can then go and go to Pineapples, go to Intercoastal, go to Traditionals, Cottage, and
Speaking of which, is there an official after party?
There's
my
two.
question.
Two?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Pineapples has essentially what we did is we in the past we've kind of promoted the event till the end of the event.
Right.
But then Pineapples and Intercoastal would keep going, and we would call it an after party. Well, now we just keep those stages going. We just fill it up with more music and just keep it going, and so it's like an unofficial, official after party type situation.
Sure.
Traditionals is putting something together for afterwards. The Cottage always has some music, but Pineapples, Intercoastal will still have their stages going on afterwards. Yeah.
Every time you pitch this more, I get more and more excited.
There's like 100 bands, man,
right?
on 7 stages.
So much music.
It's so much, and it's all original, all local. I think we have some people from out of town, but they're from here. So it always has a Brevard connection to it. The stage closest to Morgan Financial has more of the punk and metal type bands, and then you get to the main stage where there's kind of, other than us, I guess, some of the more radio-friendly type situations, and the kids stage, and then that's similar to Intracoastal, similar to Pineapples, and then we added the Black Box Blackout stage this year. Kristen Warren had a Black History Month event in February, and it was great. And we said we need to bring this culture to. This is part of our Brevard culture. I mean, it needs to be shown. So we've been able to add some jazz, some gospel, and some hip hop a little bit to the festival that wasn't there before.
And that's at Funky Dog?
No, that's at the municipal lot right next to Island Root Kava Bar.
Oh, okay.
There's a mistaken idea out there that the Island Root Kava Bar stage is next to the Island Root Kava Bar. I mean, I know that makes sense to a lot of people, but he wanted his stage on the other side of the event, and then he puts his kava truck in the middle of the event, and then basically he spans the event. He markets to the whole thing, and I think it's smart.
Yeah,
So that's why it's not at Island Root Kava Bar, because he's an intelligent person and he wants to market to the complete festival.
Well, you have a map of the festival, I recall, on your Facebook page, right?
We posted a map. There's another one coming, and it'll be through the socials, one with more parking options, and we're working on some other parking ideas. But I would Uber in and Uber out myself, especially if you're drinking. I hate the idea of someone coming to this charity event and then getting in trouble afterwards. That's also part of the reason that we ended around 9 in the main festival. I used to work in a big restaurant in the area, and we do street events, and any trouble that I would have to deal with as management was always after 10 o'clock when the party drinkers come out. Yeah. So the bars can handle the party drinkers, and,
there you go.
And the charity stays clean, so we end at around 9 o'clock.
It's family friendly is what you're saying.
It's family friendly. Yeah, we have our family zone, character artists, face painters, henna drawings, henna art. Little Sports is bringing out an obstacle course. And then the Groove Shack and Love Hut will be doing a musical petting zoo where kids can kind of interact with other instruments. And then we have the Civic Center. Parks and Rec is sponsoring a BMX, an anti-bullying BMX situation coming out. So there'll be some backflips and tail whips going on down in the down by the Civic Center. So yeah, it's definitely family friendly. About 80 vendors, 10 food or drink trucks, and 100 bands.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be.
It's massive. It's fun.
Crazy.
It's such a fun
small
time.
feat. Yep.
Yeah. So what's next for Morgan Financial?
Next year, next festival.
Next festival?
I'm into all kind. When I say I'm into all kinds of stuff, obviously, mortgages. We're always trying to make it easier, faster, more enjoyable for the client. That's what the mortgage side of it. But me personally, I fell in love with the development piece of it, putting that building together. And so yeah, when the economy stabilizes and we figure out because it will. I mean, the economy's a little wackadoo right now, but it's just the pendulum swings very fast and then it starts to slow down. And then I'd like to put my foot back into the development piece. I had a really good time building that building. It's like adult Legos.
Awesome.
It's
Awesome.
like I got an adult, the green board for the Legos, right? I'm finding me the next green board to put my Legos together.
That's pretty excellent. Yeah. We're in the funding and development stage right now of creating our school. We've had some warehouse space promised to us at a discounted price, and we've done a partnership with FIT's CAMID program. But the school we're creating is a culture and career school. So not so much college focus, more of, you're going to learn some sort of art or music situation, and you're going to go through an internship.
Nice.
So we're really focusing on a lot of those it doesn't have to be at-risk kids, but usually the at-risk kids are at risk because they don't, either have the opportunity or the care for college, and that's what most schools are really focused on. So we're trying to create something.
And not everybody's STEM. Not everybody's like ready to go to just that engineering, that real mind and tactical mathematical way. There's just a lot of people with different minds, and guess what? You give them a paintbrush, and all of a sudden, they're Picasso.
Well, and STEM to me is incomplete. I'm a math and science guy.
I know.
I love it, but STEM is incomplete. A lot of what's being motivated these days is STEAM. I don't know if you've heard of STEAM, but you put the A in STEM, art. You put art in, and STEM is STEAM, because those science ideas, social media over here, they have to be marketed correctly, and or engineering, like you just talked about, the development of your building. There's an art feature to engineering.
Architecture is more art than function.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, excellent. Well, awesome. We're talking about the bands, and we have John here from. Tell us your bands again.
I'm in Zeddemore, Tank Top, and the Bradley Rodriguez Band.
And they're going to be performing that day.
Yes, all three.
What stages are you going to be on?
Tank Top and Zeddemore are back to back on the main stage. The
against the Grain Tattoo
main stage. That's right. And then we got to book it over to Intracoastal, and Bradley Rodriguez Band is playing there at 6:00.
Excellent. Now you do other. We're going to get to those bands, but. What else do you do? I mean, you have so much more going on.
That's right. I also have a 90s cover band called Smashing Pixies. We do Smashing Pumpkins and Pixies songs.
Damn. I've heard about it. I gotta go see that.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Love me some Frank Black.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. And then I'm a full-time music teacher. So actually this is last year was the first year that some of my students played at the music festival, and now there's like 5 or 6 different artists that are at one time my student. There's Tone Deaf Pedestrians. They're still associated with Groove Shack. The Groove Kids are going to be on the Intracoastal stage.
Yep.
Kristen Warren was one of my students at one time.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Nyla Lois is on there. And I'm probably forgetting. Oh, okay. Yeah, Casey Gardner in Fields of Saturn. He also does guitar lessons with me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. How does that feel, making that? So, I mean, performance is one thing,
right?
But as an educator, it's like, seeing your work in another person is, I mean, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, it leaves me speechless every time.
Yeah.
There's no greater feeling.
Yeah. Who out of your group, and maybe we don't want to answer, but who's the all-star that's going to be playing in Orlando and Nashville, and like who's going to make that dramatic jump?
Man, put me on the spot. I really think Nyla Lois can go places.
Yeah, I agree.
She's 14, maybe, or no, I'm sorry. She started with me when she was 12. She's 15 now, and then she's already released, recorded, produced, written several EPs and singles, and also has her hand in like putting a band together. Performs as a solo artist, and she's already talking to me about putting a third band together.
Yeah. She's playing twice. She's playing at the Intracoastal stage.
Okay.
And then she's the headliner of the Groove Shack stage.
Well deserved.
Yeah. She just cut a track with 430 Steps out of Orlando, which is a hardcore band, and I'm really interested to hear what she's doing with the hardcore band.
She can scream. It's so cool.
I know she can scream, but I'm hoping they didn't go that route, because we were talking to her too. 60 Foot Giant was talking to her about potentially doing the the chorus of one of the things I love about hip hop is that they get down on their verse and then their chorus is some
the hook.
The hook, yeah.
Right.
And I was watching this interview with Alice Cooper, and he was commenting on how he loves the intensity and the feel of modern metal, but it's lost
Where's
the
the
hook.
song?
Yeah,
Where's the song?
it's lost the hook.
Yep.
And hip hop figured it out in the 90s. If you can't do it, get someone else to do it. And Nyla, is a superstar.
Isn't it interesting that like tables have turned and that modern rock and metal music is all keyboards and synthesizers and plugins, and the best guitar hooks are in rap and hip hop right now?
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
Well, it used to be the best blues and rock licks were always in hip hop for
That's
a while
true.
there.
Yeah.
And so that sharing is, I mean, that's music. It's there's more in common than outside. And speaking of those backing tracks, and have you seen Ernie play yet?
Yes. Yeah, I saw him at Rubik's.
So he's basically our MC at the Island Root Kava Bar.
Oh, cool.
So he doesn't exactly have a set. He's got the 15 minutes between each band for him just to shred.
And just shreds.
And he is. I used to be in a band with him
Really?
called Union 10 years ago, and he's the best guitarist I've ever worked with.
He's insane.
Talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and Wes are pretty damn close, really. But sorry, Ernie, you're a headache to work with.
Musicians can have the egos, yeah.
Yeah, and he just can't work with anyone. So finally he put together, he's a solo artist that, put together all these backing tracks, and he just shreds over it, no vocals. He's like Yngwie Malmsteen out there.
Or Buckethead or something.
Yeah,
That's funny.
But he's funny, so he's going to be a good MC for that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Tank Top is basically, I heard there was a version of Tank Top before Knickknacks, or
Correct.
That's true.
Let me give you a brief rundown on that.
Yeah,
on the history
okay.
there. So Christopher Neil Walker and Andrew Kennedy started a two-piece band called Tank Top.
Okay.
And Chris met JC, and JC started singing with Tank Top, and then started contributing songs towards Tank Top. So that's when they became JC and the Knickknacks. Then I joined a few months later, and then we lasted for a few years, got to play the social, had a great time. There's a bit of a falling out, but everything's back to good now. And so they, in the meantime, they reformed as Tank Top.
Right.
So now I'm in Tank Top. So that's basically the history of those two bands and how they're kind of one band, but with different drummers.
So there's like 20 years of this band now.
It's
or
coming up on
15,
10. Yeah,
right?
it was they formed in 2013. So next
Okay.
year will be 10 years of.
It just seems like a version of that band's been around forever.
Right.
But I got out of restaurants in 2013, and going from 50, 60 hours as a kitchen manager to all of a sudden being in the music scene.
Right.
These bands that I thought were out forever, I guess they were just starting out.
That's right. Yeah. So those are like the Boondocks days, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Boondocks, open mic days. And so Nick was your drummer for a bit.
That's right.
In Knickknacks, and you guys were playing at open mics, and Nick Mascolo is our drummer now for 60 Foot Giant, and I knew the day that I wanted to steal him from you. You guys were playing at open mics, and open mics was a music store at that time.
Right.
And Nick was playing, and he stood up as he does, and he's destroying his kit. And he just walked away from his kit and sat down in another kit and played on that, and then stood up and walked over to another kit. I said, I don't know who this dude is, but I want to jam with that guy. And now he's in 60 Foot Giant, and it's amazing.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
And I feel like the luckiest guy in the world for the two bands that I've been in the last 10 years, 60 Foot Giant and Lost Satellite. I don't play an instrument. I'm the singer.
Yeah.
So, if you're a singer out there and you want to do some fun stuff, just find some amazing musicians, really.
Yeah. Not a slouch in that bunch there at all.
Yeah, and then you can just do whatever you want, I get to be silly. They're great. It works out. But awesome. So you guys just put out a record?
Yes.
Tank Top?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. They released an EP in January of this year, and then we released a split EP with the Doonies as well, and then we're also in the process of recording another album.
Bringing the split EP back.
That's
I'm
right.
in.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, that's awesome. So the Doonies are they're playing the Pineapple Stage. They're kind of that after party market at the Pineapple Stage. How'd you get hooked up with them?
Well, it's kind of hard to pigeonhole a lot of the band's genres in this town. Wouldn't
I
you
agree.
say it's like a good mix of a lot of things? And I feel like, as far as Tank Top goes, the Doonies is the closest, best pairing, because there's no two bands in this town that really sound the same. But I think it was probably Chris and Carter, or JC and Carter, that made that happen. I wasn't really involved in that decision-making process,
Yeah,
but it's a perfect pairing.
The Doonies seem to always just be doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So when they kind of show up, I'm like, okay, Doonies are here.
Right.
But
And it's always a party.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're fun, I call them kids. They're probably not as young as I think they are. But and Zeddemore's coming out with a new album soon too, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
We've got our first full-length album. It's going to be released. We're going to start taking pre-orders for a vinyl. We're going to do a limited run of vinyl. It's going to be 10 songs.
I'm in.
Excellent. And then we're also in the writing process of the next album as well.
First full length? This is your first full length?
That's right. Yep. So we released an EP in 2018, and those songs have been remixed and remastered, and then we've also added 5 previously unreleased songs to equal a 10-song album.
Yeah. That's a heavy hitter band, man.
Oh, thank you.
Who's in that band?
That's me on guitar, Bradley Burton Rodriguez on lead vocals, Alex Petrosky on drums.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
He's a metronome.
Yeah.
Yes. I would go and see his band Local 518 play at the Hustler. That was like my.
Those were my days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Wednesday night, open mic nights there, and that was
Elephant Gun.
Yeah.
All those guys. We had some fun at the Slur.
So I was in a band called Grindstone then, and it was Local 518 that gave us the opportunity to play on stage for the first time. So
Nice.
forever indebted to them, and we'd go and watch them every Wednesday night. And, just like Ernie shreds a guitar and Nick tears up a drum set, so does Alex Petrosky.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And Dave, right, is on bass? Is that?
Dave Clark?
No.
David
for
Pistorius.
518.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Pistorius is ridiculous.
Jocko's nephew.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. What a band, man. So I'd watch him do, this progressive funk music. It's the best way I could describe Local 518 instrumental.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And be like, I want to see this guy do some rock music.
Yeah.
And so, as I mentioned, the Knickknacks had a bit of a falling out for a little while. And in the meantime, I wanted to start a new band. And Bradley Burton reached out to me. He's like, I'm looking for someone to collaborate with, to write songs with. It's like, I think he's one of the best songwriters in the area, if not the best.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who are we going to get to drum? Duh, Alex Petrosky. Right. I've got Rich Jackson on bass. And then at Space Coast Music Festival, we'll actually be debuting our keyboard player, Brendan Hassan, your old neighbor.
Awesome.
He lives right across the street from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're a 5-piece now, and we're kicking off our rehearsals tonight. So it's week-long rehearsal for getting ready for the main stage.
Cool. You want to talk about we don't have to give out, the imagery or anything, but do you want to talk about your artwork for your tank top and?
Absolutely. So the song that you heard at the beginning is The Motions off of the EP, and the artwork was done by Mitchell Willard, who does Apocalypse Dimension. So he's actually on the cover of Livewire magazine this month. He has a very distinct style, and it's really cool.
He made the if you attended the festival last year and you saw the spacemen that were on either side of the main stage, which we'll have again this year, Mitchell Willard made those.
Yeah, with the TVs for heads.
Yeah,
that's so. He's the best. I want to see him get into animation or something.
Right.
I'd watch that cartoon every day.
Right.
He's got such a cool style. It's like Disney on acid or something. And then Ian Soden actually did your guitarist for Lost Satellite. He did the artwork for the Zeddemore album that's going to be released.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's epic.
Yes.
Yeah, Ian's amazing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He's kind of my
Great muralist.
brother-in-law now too, a little bit. He's been dating my brother's wife's sister for years now.
Wow.
So every family function now, it's Ian's there, and it's great. He's like a brother.
He's a great guy.
But Ian, as an artist, if you're looking around, he did the mural on the front of Intra.
Correct.
He did the mural at Island Root Kava Bar. He did the mural in the library of the FIT.
Frog Bones.
He did the Frog Bones mural. Like, he's a stellar artist, and he's everywhere.
And right there, Pineapples on the second floor.
Yes, the
You
jellyfish.
see it from the street.
Yeah, that's right. And he's the most quiet person about his art. He probably won't even talk to you about it because he doesn't really know what to say.
Humble.
But he's amazing.
He's
yeah,
humble.
he's very humble.
He does.
Yeah.
He does the majority of the artwork for the Intracoastal cans
Yeah.
as well, and they always have the coolest design on
Yeah.
those cans.
And as John said, he's a guitarist. He's probably one of the better songwriters in the area too.
That's right.
Like, he's just an all-around guy that probably should be in like Nashville or L.A. or something, just tearing it up.
Yeah, thriving.
Yeah, but he loves it here. Cool. Bradley Rodriguez Band.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Well, Brad also has a passion for country music, and we've both spent time in Nashville. My family still lives up there. So he wanted to do a countryside project and asked me to be lead guitar. And we've got Dave Clark on bass and Michael Simpson on drums, where there's a few other collaborators that we're talking to. We want to bring in fiddle, we want to bring in lap steel, banjo, make it really authentic. So right now it's kind of leaning more towards southern rock, but that's kind of southern. That's
rockabilly.
Yeah,
that's a genre.
Yeah.
Some Scots.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not Brian Jonestown. What was his? Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Yeah.
Right. That
there
was
you go.
Rockabilly. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. That's more swing, but
yeah.
Stray Cats was the rockabilly.
Stray Cats.
Okay.
Yeah. Same guy.
Right. So yeah, we're playing on the Intercoastal stage at 6 o'clock. That's all original country music, all written by Brad. And
you're like the only country band in the whole thing.
And besides Blue Diamond Band, we might be the only country band in Brevard County. So
I got yelled at last year by a music store owner, I won't say who, about why don't we include more country music stuff. And
sure, where are they?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Like apply.
Just
apply.
Well, when it comes to original music, it's different,
right?
Because we don't do covers. We could have country covers all day long.
We play both genres, country and western.
Yeah, exactly. Apply. I'm getting hit up right now by people. Why aren't we on the show? It's like, I don't know. Why aren't you on the show?
Did you apply?
Yeah. Have you ever seen String Daddy?
Wait, is that? No, I'm thinking of Jesse Strings or
it's
who's String Daddy.
Jimmy Z, and he's got a fiddle player with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Used to be in Fighting the Silence, I think. Remember that band back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were great. Anyways, that's the only fiddle player I know.
Mm-hmm.
Chargood.
She's not exactly rock country.
No, but she's a fiddle player. That girl can play.
Oh, no, she's amazing. Yeah. I don't know why she doesn't get involved either.
Oh, maybe booked.
Or a lot of this it's a charity event, so it's
right.
A lot of the bands or all the bands are volunteer time basically.
Right.
And I get it that some musicians that want to make money. I mean, I get it. I want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But
exposure.
Yeah. So if you want to support the bands, you can hit them up. I'm sure they have a Cash App. Give them some donation themselves. But everyone that wants to has the opportunity to bring merch. Right. And we'll have some tents set up for bands to sell merch. So that would be a great way to support some of these artists that are donating their time to perform, is just to buy some stuff from them. And so maybe one less beer and buy a T-shirt, something like that. Or it's all...
That's a good compromise.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. So what, other than performance and your students, what are you looking forward to at the festival?
Seeing all the bands, definitely. Yeah, and really looking forward to that, the supervillains on the main stage. Yeah,
that's gonna be fun. We the restaurant I worked at, we had them and Nappy Roots one year as our Christmas party, and it was amazing. Supervillains are
that was when Melby wasn't there, right? It was all in the parking lot.
No, well, that was an event. The Christmas party was actually at the old Levels, if you remember Levels. Yeah.
Bear's Furniture or something out there.
Yeah, Bear Furniture now. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty insane.
But they always put on a good show. Dom and Scar, the whole guy, they are a party band.
They're a party band.
You don't want to miss it. Yeah.
They're just getting off of a Colorado run, so they're just coming off tour.
They're always touring.
Yeah.
Busy guys.
Super professional. Drummer sings. You don't get to see that very often. I love that. And yeah, it is that beachside rock and roll, flavor.
Yeah.
Kind of punk rock.
Yeah, little pepper and a little bit of Stick Figure and a little bit of Slightly Stupid. But they're their whole they have a unique sound.
Yeah,
they really do. They're badass.
Yeah,
we were trying to get some marketing together of our I mean, they're supervillains, right?
Mhm.
So we were going to get our spaceman like as a superhero fighting supervillains. Couldn't get it together though. We're not there yet with our technology and artistry, I guess. But
In due time, and listen, it's about the music. I mean, we had a great time with Derek Gores, like doing the blue tape, on the stage and everything else. And Mitchell was out front, and there was a lot of volunteers trying to make the festival as big as it is. And it's just volunteer driven. I mean, if there's somebody out there who thinks that they can contribute, you're still recruiting for volunteers for the day of and also before, correct?
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah, hit us up.
So calling all volunteers.
Yeah, artists. If you're a high school student that needs Bright Future hours, we are a nonprofit. We can sign off on those.
Wow.
Any sort of community service, for the most part, we can help you out with that. So this is a great way to participate in something fun and get some hours knocked out.
100%.
That's a good idea. The Bright Futures thing is a good idea.
Yeah.
How many do you need? I can't remember. My kids did it. How many do you need to get signed off on hours-wise?
I have no clue what the total amount of hours are for Bright Futures.
But you're talking about quite a few hours.
Oh, yeah. If you worked all day, I mean, you're talking like, 8 to 10.
I'm saying when I was a kid,
14
if
hours,
I got signed off and go listen to bands and clean up stuff,
100%.
I'm like, oh my God, that's way easier than volunteering at the library.
100, yeah. 14-hour day, and you get, get to party all day.
No, I was picking up litter in the mangroves in Hollywood Beach when I was in high school, trying to get my hours. It wasn't as cool as just hanging out listening to music.
I was just thinking that'd be so easy to pitch.
Yeah.
You want to go listen to bands and hang out for the whole day?
Well, and, I'll give the Southern bless their heart, but, everything is very systematic when you're trying to get things, so when I've reached out to say, hey, Bright Futures and all this stuff, let us help, everyone, they go through their systems, and it's been harder to get that word out.
Are you talking about a red tape and bureaucracy?
I am talking about red tape and bureaucracy.
I don't know much about that.
Yeah.
Being in the finance business, I don't know much about that.
Last year we had some Bright Futures online, but the festival fell on the same day as prom. Yeah. So none of the kids showed up because it was prom, and they'd rather go to prom than get their hours, I guess.
Right.
But which I get. I mean,
but there's a setup, the day before. There's breakdown the day after, probably. I mean, there's going to be opportunities for anybody to participate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I can't believe it's already been like 50 minutes.
I know, right? That went fast.
I know. We're almost up on the hour. Any housekeeping?
Well, again, welcome back, Jesse.
Oh, thank you.
Jesse, you do have a Kickstarter out there, is that right? Or not Kickstarter?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yeah. If you're curious, I could send a link. But
Jesse got ran over by a truck, and we're happy that he's alive.
Yeah. Thankful to still be upright, not drooling.
Yeah. We had another volunteer. Actually, she's been a big part of Harbor City, and Rachel Gray, that in July had an aneurysm.
Right. And at the same time. We were in the hospital at the same time.
And is very much lucky to be alive, but she's got something set up to help with her hospital bills. And then if you're interested in art, music, education, community, and you want to get involved, hit us up. We have, opportunities for helping with our mission, our purpose to promote those things throughout our community, and in turn bring it back to education, build our career and community school. And we also have a stockpile of instruments. So if you cannot afford an instrument, you want to get involved in music locally, hit us up. We can probably help you out. If we don't have it, we can help locate it for you. We also have our Wickham Road Music's Harbor City Scholarship. If you can't afford lessons, we can help you with that. That's what we do with a lot of the proceeds of these events, is we help kiddos that can't afford these things get involved. Unfortunately, those are the type of kids that get locked out of these opportunities, and we say no. Let us help you. Yeah. It's hard to ask for help, but tell your parents, and
there's resources out there.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great what you're doing, Steve. Thank you so much, man. As a music educator, seriously.
Thanks, man. And So yeah, November 5th, we will be doing a pre-event yoga at 10:30 to 11:30. That's going to be through the Yogi Pierogi and Yoga with Koa. She does her rock and flow every Saturday morning at 10:30. Local musicians play acoustically at her yoga studio. But November 5th, it'll be in the park, All Galley Square. Nick Mascola will be playing some acoustic for you, and Amanda Wolf and Koa Mascola will be leading the yoga. It's a donation-based, so you don't have to, pay up front. Just show up, participate. Donation-based yoga, and then the music will start at noon, and with the supervillains starting at 8:15. There are 7 stages. So definitely get the opportunity to walk around. We have the times posted at spacecoastrocks.com. And we're pretty much going to shut off the vendor link in the next day or two. So if you're a vendor that was waiting for the last moment, this is it.
Time has come.
Yeah, time has come. All the times are posted. We'll have the times at the event. Also, Kogo Buzz down in EGAD is providing free Wi-Fi for the event.
Yep.
And when you log into their free Wi-Fi, you can also get a link that has the map and the stages right at your cell phone. Awesome. But you can stop by the Harbor City tent, and we'll have more information. There will be a pre-fest event at Intracoastal. That's going to be a Best Fest. Best Supporting Actor is a band that's been around for a while. Steve Keller is part of Harbor City Local, and he's going to throw a pre-fest party there with some heavy hitters like Paging and Mr. Herman. And there's also a pre-fest party at Pineapples the day before. There's going to be some DJs, a lot of raffles. We're going to raffle off some Space Coast merch, as well as some other art and things there. So there's a few pre-fest opportunities to have some fun. We are working on some links for cheaper hotel rooms. So like the Hilton Hotel in Melbourne has given us a code that we've been putting out through our social media that you can get a discounted room. And then Uber in, Uber out. Sometimes they provide a shuttle to maybe get you close, where we'll be posting parking if you're just that type that doesn't like Uber. Because parking, it's EGAD. Parking's an issue, guys.
Carpool.
Yeah.
Ride a bike, walk.
If your complaint after the event was parking, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm okay with that complaint until they build that parking garage.
And hey, if you have complaints about a free volunteer-run music festival, please volunteer next year.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
God,
Thank you.
That's the most nicest passive-aggressive comment.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not directed at one particular person.
Art. That's an art. He's like, if you want to complain, F you.
In
so many words.
And as always, Harbor City Local is a 501c3 nonprofit. And if you want to connect on some community events, hit us up. We did Punk in the Park this year, as well as Space Coast Music Festival. We're always looking forward to more networking opportunities. And if you want to get involved with our school and you see some ways to create some funding there, let's talk. But for any final comments, guys?
Looking forward to the show, man. Thank you for putting it all together.
I'm glad we met, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
Cool.
It's going to be really good.
Space Coast Music Fest brought to you by Morgan Financial.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks, man.
Why don't you lead us out to our outro?
This is Stand by Zeddemore. This was a single, or was this
Yes.
this was just a single. It wasn't
Yeah.
on an EP. Is this going to be on the new
Album, yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. So
Pre-sale
Stand.
start when?
Today. As
There
soon
you
as you
go.
hear this podcast is exclusive for Harbor City Local Podcast.
All right, well, let's bring these guys on.
save this generation from future decay. You're scared and unsure if your actions will prevail. The unsettled determination through the ashes of the dale. They say we are the problem. They say we are the cause. Let's show them we're stronger. Let's show them who we are. We don't want to live. We don't need a side. Take a chance. Make a stand. We're better than hope. They think we are. We don't want to live. We don't need a side. Take a chance. Make a stand. We're better than hope. They think we are. There's no turning back now. It's gotta be this way to save this generation. We don't want to live. We don't need a side. Take a chance.